So it's very normal for your teen to be more moody these days and a little argumentative, maybe making some different choices you're not really used to, and there's a couple of reasons for this. One is that it's very developmentally appropriate. You know, the way that they are thinking is changing, the way their brain is working is changing. They're trying to separate from the family, kind of getting their own sense of self and identity, and that's going to cause some conflict at home. Physically, they're going through a lot of changes and they don't necessarily understand what's going on with their body, and so of course they lash out in some of those ways. So how do we deal with some of that defiance and moodiness? Well, there's a couple things that you could do. It's important really to try to understand developmentally where they're at. It's also important to continue to have very clear expectations for them and set limits. They need that structure and routine that you have provided all the way up to this point. Just because they're high schoolers and getting older doesn't mean that we should back off on some of those things. They need that structure within the family. They need those family dinners, and they need to know that you are going to provide consequences when they're kind of stepping out of line. And those consequences really need to be clear, they need to be consistent, they need to be logical. It's important as a parent not to just fly off the handle and be like, you're grounded for the next 2 months, when maybe that's not really what's appropriate. So it's okay to kind of step back as a parent and take time before you kind of enforce some of those limits that you're seeking. And most of all, really, you know, they need that encouragement to make good choices. You need to try to empower them and not handle things for them. That's a really important piece. And the last thing I'd like to say, it's really just important to be the parent. You know, we all want to have good relationships with our kids, but it's really important to maintain that boundary. It's our responsibility as parents to make sure our kids are safe and maturing and moving forth with their values and the things that we've taught them at home.